Hello everyone. Today I would like to introduce a project I had in the back of my mind for quite a while, and that is an exposition on key concepts found in Dr. Peterson's book 12 Rules for Life. Why, you ask? Because I think it's sorely needed. 12 Rules is one of those books which feels meaningful and important when reading it, but after you are finished reading it, you're not really sure what you took away from it. Milo Yiannopoulos is in fact critical of Dr. Peterson for this, accusing him of deliberately trying to sound confusing so that his ideas appear more complex than they really are. I don't share this opinion, but I can't deny there might be a seed of truth to it. Ask fans of Dr. Peterson about some concepts in 12 Rules, and all you will most likely get is a recital of some chapter titles. That's why I'm starting this series. I'm going to highlight key ideas and concepts that I believe are present in the book in order to help anyone who is interested in taking more away from this book. So let's get started. Rule 2. Treat yourself as someone you are responsible for helping. This chapter is aimed at helping people who are self-loathing. Dr. Peterson begins this chapter by talking about the propensity for certain people to deliberately forego taking potentially life-saving medication, but somehow manage to administer their pet's medication to the letter. Why? Why would someone take better care of their pets than themselves? This whole chapter is focused on answering this question. The chapter is essentially broken up into two segments. The first lays the groundwork for Dr. Peterson's metaphysics, which he will later use in the second section to answer his own question. In this video, we will just discuss the first section dealing with Dr. Peterson's metaphysics and finish up the second section in the next video. The first part really does lay out essential material that is necessary for understanding much of Dr. Peterson's work going forward, so it's important to do this right. The first major principle that Dr. Peterson lays out is the concept that reality is primarily constituted by the subjective feelings and experiences of individuals. This, along with inanimate objects, make up being with a capital B. With the use of microscopes, scientists have done spectacular work since the scientific revolution in breaking down objects at the molecular level and offering plausible explanations as to why objects and nature move in certain ways without the interference of an outside will. But for most of human existence, reality was understood more as a place of action than a place of objects. Proper actions ensured survival, and that was more critical than a concept of objective truth. Sure, I guess this makes sense, but it's not the solid foundation I would like to start off with. So I went to the notes at the back of the book, hoping for more resources. Unfortunately, Dr. Peterson simply recommends you read his first book, Maps of Meaning, if you want confirmation for most of history. Reality was perceived as a place of action. Okay, maybe later I'll read your 560-page dense book just to get this confirmation. But moving on, Dr. Peterson then presents two basic categories that experiences can be broken down into. They are order and chaos. Chaos is the unknown, the sudden unexpected event. It's also hurtful feelings. But chaos does not just have negative connotations, it's also a sense of wonder and unexplored potential. Order, on the other hand, is familiar territory, a plan with no hiccups. It's social conventions that everyone follows. It's tradition. These two constituent parts are also perceived as personalities. Order is male, while chaos is female. Dr. Peterson cites some scientific paper to assert that people ascribe personalities to order and chaos and see the world around them, and I quote, as animated with intent and purpose, end quote. The point that these personalities are male and female is stressed by pointing to religious symbolism, the yin and yang of Tao, the downward and upward triangle of the Star of David, as well as the androgynous nature of Christ, among others. Again, Dr. Peterson does not provide much evidence to support his analysis of reality and his categories of order and chaos. Mostly, he is asking his readers to examine their own lives and realize that what he is saying is true. I feel comfortable with this, but I can understand why some people might accuse Dr. Peterson to be a charlatan at this point, or too vague or vacuous. Inevitably, the choice is up to the listener. We now come to one of the more important points that Dr. Peterson makes in this chapter. That's the idea of balancing order and chaos in your own life. Too much order represents tyranny and stillness, while too much chaos represents stress and anxiety. By having a solid foot both in order and chaos, an individual is able to find meaning in their life and help bring order to chaos. In this middle path, you are both satisfied in your current security and your ability to prosper by exploring unknown territory and expanding your circle of knowledge. I personally enjoy the analogy Dr. Peterson uses with the yin-yang symbol pictured here. Conscientiousness mediates a person properly between order and chaos. The line separating the yin and the yang is the Taoist path of life that a person should strive to follow. Since this middle path better ensures our survival, neurologically our brains have evolved to provide us with a sense of meaning and fulfillment when we successfully follow this path. And this concludes the first part of Rule 2. We have examined the main points of Dr. Peterson's metaphysics, which he uses throughout the book to explore other questions and concepts. In the next video on this series, he will use these points to explore why people fail to properly take care of themselves and prescribe an alternate way of being. To summarize, the points are: 1. Reality is composed by more than just inanimate objects. Reality is more personal. It is also the collective experiences and feelings of individuals. Dr. Peterson refers to this as being with a capital B. Point number 2. Individuals perceive the world and events as animated and having personalities first, then as objects. This leads to useful subdivisions such as order and chaos, and further classifications such as male for order and female for chaos. Point number 3. The path, or the way, is the proper way of being. To find meaning, individuals must balance order and chaos in their life. Our very physiology is built for this, likely from millions of years of evolution that helped ensure survival for our species. So that's it for the first part of the video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye for now.